Hello children, in today's video we are going to learn the second part of the second unit, that is the sound of music, and it's the second part, the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. As we know that the second unit is related to music. In first one we saw the information about Glennie, and now in second unit, the second part, we are going to learn about Mr. Bismillah Khan. How he is, why he is famous. Now we'll see line wise. So here you can see many pictures of Indian musicians, okay, the musicians in different fields. So we'll go line wise now. Here Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of a musical instrument called pungi in the royal residence for it had a shrill unpleasant sound. See here, Emperor Aurangzeb, he had banned the playing of musical instrument. What was that musical instrument? That was pungi. He banned. Why he banned? He banned that pungi to be played in his royal residence. Okay. Why he banned for that? Why he banned the pungi? Because it had shrill and unpleasant sound. Means unpleasant sound, which was not good for listening. He felt, and that's why he banned. Then pungi became a generic name for a reeded noisemaker. So here pungi, he says it is a generic name. Means here generic name is a name given to a class or a group as a whole. Means some certain things which had pungi like or same instruments. So it was a generic name. Okay, that as a noisemaker, another name was given to the pungi, that was a noisemaker. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. Okay, and few thought that pungi will be revived one day. It will have another version. A barber of a family of professional musicians who had access to the royal palace decided to improve the tonal quality of pungi. So here one barber of he was barber, but his family was of musician, and the barber decided to, he always used to go to the royal courts, so he decided to improve the tonal quality of pungi. Why? He understood that, he knew that only because of the sound of pungi it was banned, and that's why he decided to improvise the quality of the sound of the pungi. So he chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi, and made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. So he wanted to just change, the type, the quality of pungi. So he took a pipe, he chose a pipe and made it. It was allowed hollow stem. It was it was a pipe, wooden pipe, and that was longer and broader than the pungi. Okay, the pipe was longer and broader than the original pungi, and he made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. He made 7 holes on that body, and when he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were produced. And when he played that instrument, actually it was another version of pungi. So he just played that, and it was melodious sound. It had that new instrument created melodious sound. So he played the instrument before royalty, and everyone was impressed, and he played the same instrument which was newly created. He played in the court, in the royalty, or in the court, or in the resident of the Shah Aurangzeb. The instrument, so different from the pungi, had to be given a new name. So everybody liked that music, that sound of that new instrument. So everybody in the court wanted to know the name of the king, name of the instrument, and they decided that the name should be given to that. So as the story goes, since it was first played in the Shah's chamber and was played by a nai, that is barber, so the instrument was called, or the instrument was named, the Shehnai, and everybody was eager to know the name of the new instrument, and the name was given. There is a history about it that is to be told. So the instrument which was played by a barber, that is called nai in Hindi. Okay, and it was just played, it was performed in the court of Shah, and that's why the word is taken Shehnai, means the nai played that instrument in front of Shah, and that's why the name is given Shehnai. The sound of the Shehnai began to be considered auspicious. Here, the sound of Shehnai, as previously the sound of Pungi was banned, but see the new version, Shehnai, the sound of Shehnai began to be considered auspicious. Auspicious means what? Something that will bring luck or good luck for us. Auspicious. And for this reason, it is still played in temples, and it is indispensable component of any North Indian weddings, and that is why it is an auspicious sound, and that's why it is played still nowadays. Also we find that the Shehnai is played in the temples as well as in the wedding ceremonies also in India, and in the northern part of India it is a common thing. In the past, the Shehnai was part of Naubat, or a traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at royal courts. So before, in the beginning, it was a part, Shehnai was a part of Naubat. Naubat means a group of 9 instruments, something which were royal instruments, okay. And it was a part of those 9 instruments which were used in the royal courts. Till recently it was used only in temples and wedding, but still nowadays also we find that it is used in temples and weddings. Weddings means marriage ceremonies. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan, and nowadays we find that the level of this Shehnai, it means the one who brought this Shehnai at this level nowadays, the credit goes to Mr. Bismillah Khan, Ustad Bismillah Khan. Now we'll know about him. As a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played Gilli Danda near a pond in the ancient estate of Dumrao in Bihar. As a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan used to play Gilli Danda. It is a local game near a pond in ancient estate of Dumrao, Bihar. So in Bihar, he is basically from Bihar. So he used to play near a pond. He would regularly go to the nearby Bihariji temple to sing the Bhojpuri Chaita, at the end of which he would earn a big lattu weighing 1.25 kg. So he used to go regularly, often he used to go in the nearby Bihariji temple to sing a Bhojpuri Chaita, at the end of which means when he used to sing that Bhojpuri Chaita, he used to get a reward. What was that reward? He used to get a reward of big laddu, and its weight was around 1.25 kg, means 1 kilo and 250 grams. It was given by the local Maharaja to him as a reward. This happened 80 years ago. Okay, 80 years ago he used to get that reward, and that little boy has traveled far to earn the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. See, 80 years old, he used to get laddu as his award for playing that Shehnai in that singing that Bhojpuri Chaita in the temple, and now after 80 years he got the highest civilian award, okay, and that is the Bharat Ratna. Born on 21st March 1916, Bismillah belongs to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. See, around 21st March 1960, Bismillah Khan was born in the state Bihar. His grandfather, that is Rasul Baks Khan was his grandfather, was a Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur King's court, and his grandfather was a Shehnai Nawaz in the court of Bhojpur King. His father Paygambbar Baks and other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. Means here all his family members, his ancestors, his grandfather, his uncle, his father, they were great Shehnai players. The young boy took to music early in life. At the age of 3, when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house in Benares, now in Varanasi. See here, he took, means Bismillah Khan took these lessons of playing music or playing Shehnai in his early life, childhood life, and at the age of 3 years he was taken to his maternal uncle's home, and he went there with his mother to Benares. Now it is called as Varanasi. So Bismillah was fascinated watching his uncles practice the Shehnai. He got fascinated. Okay, he was attracted by the Shehnai playing of his maternal uncle. Soon Bismillah started accompanying his uncle Ali Baks. So he also started following his uncle Ali Baks to the Vishnu temple of Benares, where Baks was employed to play Shehnai. He used to follow his uncle Ali Baks where? To the Vishnu temple of Benares, where his uncle was employed there. His uncle used to go there for playing Shehnai in the temple. Ali Bux would play the Shehnai and Bismillah would sit captivated for hours on end. And Ali Bux, his uncle, used to play Shehnai so melodiously. And meanwhile, Bismillah Khan used to just sit and listen that quietly for longer hours. Slowly he started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. And soon, very soon, he started learning Shehnai and used to play Shehnai throughout the day as a practice. For years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangala Maya and the banks of the Ganga became a young apprentice's favorite haunts where he would practice in solitude. So, next many years, that temple of Balaji and Mangala Maya and the banks of Ganga, these places became his favorite places. Whose favorite places? Mr. Bismillah Khan's favorite places for practicing in solitude, means alone. He used to practice alone himself for longer hours. The flowing waters of Ganga inspired him to improvise and invent ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Shehnai. So here he practiced the difficult ragas on Shehnais, which were considered that those ragas would not be possible to play on Shehnai, but he could do that. He could play those difficult ragas on Shehnai, on the sound of Shehnai. At the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad Music Conference. So when he was around 14 years old, Bismillah he went with his uncle to Allahabad Music Conference. At the end of his recital, Ustad Fayyaz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." See here, when in that conference, when he played Shehnai there, and Ustad Fayyaz Khan, a great musician, he patted on this boy, he patted on this boy's back, means on Ustad Bismillah Khan's back, and said, "Work hard, boy, you shall make it, you will definitely grow." With the opening of this All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938 came Bismillah's big break. See, in 1938 on All India Radio he started his career. He soon became an often heard Shehnai players on radio, and he became very famous, and often, not regularly, but often he used to get chance to play Shehnai on All India Radio. When India gained independence on 15th August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai. So, on the day of freedom, the first day, Independence Day, on 15th August 1947, he got opportunity to play Shehnai in front of Prime Minister of India. He poured his heart out into Raga Coffee from the Red Fort to an audience which included Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous Terraced with Destiny speech. So here on that day, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he also gave his speech, that is Terraced the Destiny. His famous speech was given on the same day, on the same place where Bismillah Khan also played his Shehnai. Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad. Bismillah Khan was so famous, he was so talented. He performed in various places in India as well as abroad. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan, where King Zahir Shah was so taken by his maestro that he gifted him priceless Persian carpet and other souvenirs. So here, his first abroad visit, it was in Afghanistan, where he performed so nicely that the king of that area, that Afghanistan, that is King Zahir Shah, he was so fascinated by his music. So he gifted Mr. Bismillah Khan the royal carpet, the priceless Persian carpet and other souvenirs. He gifted many things to him. Souvenirs means the things given in a memory of place, okay, a person or an event. So he gave many things, he gifted him many things. Film director, the king of Afghanistan was not only one to be fascinated with Bismillah's music. So here King Zahir Khan was not only who was fascinated by his music, but film director Vijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Bismillah's Bismillah play at a festival that he named a film after instrument called Gunj Uthi Shehnai. So film director Vijay Bhatt was also impressed by him, and that's why he made a film on Shehnai, and he named the film Gunj Uthi Shehnai. The film was a hit, and one of Bismillah Khan's composition, Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya, turned out to be a nationwide chartbuster. And that film, Gunj Uthi Shehnai, was a very hit film, and the song of that film, it was also very famous. Despite this huge success in the celluloid world, Bismillah Khan's venture in film music were limited to two. Though he became so famous in films also, still he did not compose his his music for film industry. Though he could earn more, but he could not do more than two. He was not interested in it. Vijay Bhatt's Gunj Uthi Shehnai and Vikram Srivasa's Kannada venture Sanadi Apanna. I just can't come to terms with the artificially and glamour of the film world, he says with emphasis. He always say, I do not want to use Shehnai, or I do not want to use my music for the only music field, only film industry, but it is for the world. Awards and recognitions came thick and fast. He got many awards, he got recognition, he became famous. Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in the United States of America. So Bismillah Khan, he is the first Indian to be invited. He was the first one who was invited to present his show, to present his talent in the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in the United States of America. He also took part in the World Exposition in Montreal. Took part in the World Exposition in Montreal. In the Cannes Art Festival in the Osaka Trade Fair. So he was also invited to the World Exposition in Montreal, where in Cannes Art Festival in the Osaka Trade Fair. So well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him. Tahar Mosiki Ustad Bismillah Khan. It is a name which is given by his name to the auditorium in Tehran. National awards like the Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan and the Padma Vibhushan were conferred on him. So he is the person who got Padma Shri award also, Padma Bhushan award also, and Padma Vibhushan, and as well as the highest civilian award of India, that is Bharat Ratna award also. In 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, that is the Bharat Ratna, with the coveted award resting on his chest and his eyes gleaming with a rare happiness. He said, when he got this highest civilian award, that is Bharat Ratna, he said, all I would like to say is, teach your children music. This is Hindustan's richest tradition. Even the West is now coming to learn our music. So he told, when on the occasion of getting Bharat Ratna, he told that India has a very nice treasure, that is a music. So he says that teach music to your children, he told to the Indian, because music is the India's highest tradition, richest tradition, and even the Western countries are also teaching music to their children, and they are coming to India for music. In spite of having traveled all over the world, Khan Sahab, as he is fondly called, is exceedingly fond of Benares and Dumrao, and they remain for him the most wonderful towns of the world. Though Bismillah Khan presented his talent, presented Shehnai all around the world, but still he liked to be in India. He was Indian. His heart was Indian, so he used to be in India only. He liked to be in India. A student of his once wanted him to head a Shehnai school in the USA, and the student promised to recreate the atmosphere of Benares by replicating the temples there. See here, one of his students, he told him to run an academy of Shehnai playing in USA, and he told that he will create such an atmosphere like Benares. Okay, but Khan Sahab asked him if he would be able to transport river Ganga as well. See here how he loved. So Bismillah Khan says that, oh, you created such a scenario like Benares, but will you please bring Ganga river also to America? In this way, here this line shows that how he loved India. He did not want to live in India for his just earning more. So later he is remembered to have said, that is why whenever I am in foreign country, I keep yearning to see Hindustan. So here whenever he says that whenever I am in abroad, I always want to be in India, and whenever I am in Mumbai, while in Mumbai, I think of only Benares and the holy Ganga, and while in Benares, I miss the unique Matha of Dumrao. So he says, whenever I am in foreign countries or in abroad, I feel I should be in India, and wherever I am in Mumbai, so I miss my Ganga river, okay, and Benares, holy Ganga river and Benares, and when I am in Benares, I miss my Matha of Dumrao, where he started his childhood, when he spent his childhood days. Ustad Bismillah Khan's life is a perfect example of the rich cultural heritage of India, one that effortlessly accepts that a devout Muslim like him can very naturally play the Shahnai every morning at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. See his life, his life is a perfect example of a rich cultural heritage of India. Means by his life, if we think that his life is full of devotion to the music, okay, one, he effortlessly accepts that a devout Muslim like him, means though he was a Muslim, but he used to spend his music, he used to spend his time, much time in temples, and like Kashi Vishwanath temple, okay. So Ustad Bismillah Khan passed away on 21st August 2006 at the age of 90 after a prolonged illness. He was given the state funeral and the government of India declared one day national mourning. So here he passed away on 21st of August 2006. So here the lesson comes to end. I hope you have understood this lesson. You can write down its question answers from the website. Okay, we'll see another lesson in another video. Till then, bye bye.